Hey folks, how you doing? It is Clay Francisco here today with another book review. If you guys have been paying attention, I decided to start reading the Shadow of the Stonebender series, and I'm currently in book 2 and may not be able to get through it. We'll see. This is just one of those things where I have so many different things on my plate and so much interesting stuff to do that stuff's fallen off. So I may just let that one fall off. This book review is for a book you didn't even know I was reading if you were paying attention. The Lies of Locke Lamora. Locke Lamora, whatever. Locke Lamora. And it's actually really funny because I saw a YouTuber who I can't remember who, and we're back, doing a book review for The Lies of Locke Lamora. And I thought to myself, well, that's interesting. I'll go ahead and check it out. Picked up a copy, started reading through it. Wasn't that into it, I have to be honest. It's got this sort of Tarantino thing going for it, where it doesn't go chronologically. He jumps back and forth a lot in his timeline, which we're going to put a pin in and come back to. Anyway, I wasn't really actually even going to finish this book when I noticed that Jonathan Green, YouTuber, booktuber, the blonde kid, really good at doing his reviews. I think that's his name. Anyway, he loves the book. And so I was like, okay, I'm going to try it. I've got to at least get through it, see what's up. You know, this guy, I like how he, I don't necessarily agree with all of his reviews, right? We have different tastes, but a lot of the stuff we sort of fall, really, anyway. Off of his recommendation, I'm like, okay, Daniel Green. Daniel Green is his name. I'll link to him below. He loves this book. Talks about it all the time. Talks about how, and so I wanted to get through it. And I did. I forced myself to get through it. Yeah, I forced myself to get through it. I don't want to, eat it apart and, pick it at it and tell you all the things I didn't like about it, because there was a lot of good stuff too. So I'm just going to kind of hit on the key points of why I don't even know if there's a second book in the series, and I probably won't ever know if there's a second book in the series. One, there weren't any actual female characters. At the end of the book, there's an old lady who gets introduced, but both of the female characters, one of whom gets a little bit of screen time, only gets a little bit of screen time and then she's gone, poof. And I don't even remember what happens to her, but she gets sent away for being a bitch, I guess? It doesn't go into it. She's young, and then we never see her again. And then the second woman is in it as not a love interest, but a character touchstone point where she's supposed to add flavor to the world and whatnot, and I don't get it. Yeah, so there's only 2 women in it, aside from the old lady. I mean, younger women, characters, right? And that's it. And that normally doesn't bother me, except pretty much everybody they interact with is a dude. I mean, it's really guy-centric. And I hadn't noticed how much those kinds of things ruin the lore of it for me. It just doesn't feel real. And so I have a tendency to not be able to resonate with those sorts of books. And so that was just problem 1 right there. The cast, I guess, really, is the cast of characters I wasn't particularly into. Galdo and Carlo, Galdo and Caldo, Carlo. Anyway, the twins, the twin thieves, they seem like they're going to be good characters, but they don't get enough time. They kind of get kicked off to the side a bit, and I'm not really into that. Locke's main bud, Jean, I mean, you don't even meet his character till halfway through the book. And then the character Jean doesn't even go to start learning to, use the Wicked Sisters, his twin axes, until like 3/4 of the way through the book. I mean, you're following this kid from the time he's 5 years old until he's got to be in his mid-20s. And only one cool thing happens. Maybe two. That's it. Things I did like about it, though. It is a very nice world that you're walking into. The world feels complete. It doesn't feel like you're missing anything. The story centers around just a very few characters, but it feels bigger than that. And so he did a really good job of referencing places you'll never go and things you'll never see and making it feel like they're real and they matter to the characters. I love the way, he dealt with all of the different languages and that, and so, but you don't hear them speaking them, right? It's just that the point of view character has a hard time, understanding what's going on until somebody speaks to them in their own language. And so it's really lore thick, and that is awesome, right? I mean, I love that about the book. But that's not enough to keep me going. I like characters a little bit more. There are some plot points, right? Because it's so disjuncted in the flow of the story. I had a tendency not to really care about the individual characters and their story arcs, because it felt like every time I was getting into a story arc, it would break the arc to then give the outcome more weight. And it seemed like, we were always kind of just like Inception style doing that. It's like, oh, but this outcome matters because let's flash back. Oh, this outcome matters because let's flash back. And I wanted to feel those things happen in a more chronological order, so that when the event happened, I had the context and I didn't have to go back and say, well, I trust the author. And, even the end of the book felt a lot like that to me. Like, he tells you about his big reveal, at the end, the bad guy, blah, 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 barf scene. This is why I did this, right? And so you finally, as you learn what's going on, it would have been a lot nicer to know that stuff at the beginning, right? And then I would have probably cared more about who these characters were and why they were doing what they were doing. Because at the time, you don't really know. And for me, it didn't feel like a whodunit. It didn't raise enough questions to me where I was intrigued by it and needed to know the answers. It just sort of felt like a bunch of people doing stuff because they were. But he does explain it all. It's all tied together. It's actually very well done. And so it is a matter of execution versus content, right? The content of this book should be really good. I should like it. But it didn't resonate with me. I think it does have something to do with the fact that if I never read another book about a orphan assassin raised in a fictitious pseudo-Britain, France little, cobblestone streeted home, that's the big city, and I don't ever need to hear that again. Sorry, Sarah J. Maas. Sorry, Brent Weeks. Sorry, everybody else. Brandon Sanderson. Shush. All you guys, stop. Yes, the farm boy's dead, and he's been replaced by an orphaned assassin. That's not much better, guys. I mean, it's cool, it's dark, but we've literally all just gone from farm boy to orphan assassin. But if that's your jam, this is your jam. Absolutely. The Lies of Locke Lamora, it's got crazy timing, right? And so it's got a whole disjuncted plot line. If you're into that kind of thing where bits and pieces get fed to you piecemeal, it could totally be what you're into. But if you're looking for a nice cohesive plot with any sort of gender representation or anything like that, this is not going to be the book for you. Yeah. But who knows? We all like different stuff. I don't like giving bad book reviews, so I can't really give this like a bad book review, but I will not be picking up any of the extras. And if you can comment below with something else by this guy that maybe I might like, I'll check it out, because I did like his prose. I really liked the way, yeah, I like this guy's writing. I did. I just don't like his structuring. I don't like his choices he's making. So if he keeps making choices like this, I'm not going to be into it. But if he makes some different choices, let me know in the comments below, because I would be very curious to see what this guy's prose do around a different storyline. Yeah, if you like this video, if you enjoyed it, if you'd like me to make more, hit the like button, hit the subscribe, do the bell tapping, all that stuff, and I will see you on my next review, folks, or either that or my next author update, and you guys can listen to me whine about why it's so hard to keep writing. All right, folks, you have a great time.